Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unearth the most compelling insights from a stack of sources, turning complex information into those aha moments you crave. Today, we're embarking on a truly transformative journey, reimagining our cities. We're going beyond just steel and concrete, looking at how communities and nature are, coming together to design the next generation of resilient, vibrant urban spaces. We've gathered some incredibly rich material for this deep dive, from ambitious urban planning documents like the Brooklyn Marine Terminal Vision Plan and New York City's rainproofing initiatives, to insights on, deep community engagement, the power of regenerative practices, and cutting-edge low-carbon adaptations.
What's particularly striking, I think, about these diverse sources is how they initially seem like separate conversations. A housing plan here, a water management strategy there. But as we connect the dots, a powerful unifying narrative emerges, the intentional, collaborative, and deeply nature-informed reshaping of our shared environments. It really feels like more than just incremental improvements. It's a paradigm shift.
Right. And our mission today is to extract the absolute essence from these sources, show you how they intertwine, and maybe give you a fresh perspective on what our future cities could and perhaps should look like. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack some truly revolutionary thinking about urban landscapes. Let's jump straight into a bold vision for urban transformation, starting with one of the most, ambitious plans we've seen, the Brooklyn Marine Terminal, or BMT, vision plan in New York City. This isn't merely a construction project. It feels like a complete ecological, economic, and social overhaul of a significant piece of waterfront.
Indeed, and it's a fantastic case study in multifaceted urban planning. We're talking about transforming approximately 60 acres of largely underutilized port land in Red Hook, Brooklyn, into a thriving mixed-use district. The scale is truly impressive. Over 28 acres of public open space, including a new destination park that will eventually connect to the already beloved Brooklyn Bridge Park, plus nearly a mile of new public waterfront access. It's a remarkable reclamation of public space in one of the densest cities in the world.
And crucially, it's not just about creating beautiful green spaces, is it? This plan also takes on one of the most pressing challenges facing New York City, the housing crisis.
Absolutely. The plan strategically commits to no more than 3,800 housing units in BMT North and 2,200 in Atlantic Basin, with a minimum of 40% permanently affordable across the entire site.
Okay, 40% affordable.
Yeah. And these units are designated at an average AMI, that's area median income at or below 60%, and 10% specifically for those at 40% AMI. This directly addresses the city's identified need for over 500,000 new units by 2030, a crisis particularly acute in areas like Brooklyn and Manhattan. What's critical here is not just the quantity, but the guaranteed affordability, really integrating social equity into the very fabric of the development.
Here's where it gets really interesting for anyone thinking about urban development. This isn't presented as a drain on resources. It's projected as a massive economic engine.
Right. That brings us to a key question. How do you balance such extensive new development with existing community needs and functions? The BMT Vision Plan projects over $18 billion in economic impact for the city and region.
18 billion, wow.
Yeah, and this isn't just a hypothetical number. It's tied to approximately 37,000 temporary construction jobs and a significant 2,000 permanent jobs across maritime, industrial, commercial, and residential sectors. Beyond that, it includes a $10 million industrial development fund for the Red Hook community, 250,000 square feet of community facilities with dedicated space for a new public school, and a comprehensive workforce strategy.
Okay.
That includes targeted community hiring and a maritime career readiness program specifically for NYCHA residents. It's kind of a masterclass in co-benefit stacking, where a single investment can simultaneously boost local economies, improve public health, and provide climate resilience.
And in a dense urban environment like New York, they're clearly thinking beyond just buildings, right? They're reimagining how people and goods move through the city.
Precisely. A pedestrian-first traffic and transit plan is absolutely central to this vision. It prioritizes walking, cycling, and public transit, marking a deliberate move away from, car-centric design. This includes a wider greenway with separate lanes for bikes and e-micromobility. But the truly ingenious part, in my opinion, involves what they call blue highways. This is a joint initiative between NYC DOT and NYC EDC to create a freight network using the city's waterways.
So instead of hundreds of trucks clogging streets, you put cargo on barges, like using the water itself.
Exactly. BMT will become a crucial node in this network, connected to the Hunts Point Food Distribution Center via container barge service. This single initiative is projected to eliminate roughly 300 one-way truck trips through Red Hook daily.
300 a day? That's huge.
It is. Imagine the ripple effect. Dramatically cutting emissions, reducing congestion on neighborhood streets, and lessening wear and tear on our road infrastructure. It's a brilliant example of leveraging existing natural assets for modern logistical challenges, turning a potential pain point into a sustainable advantage.
So for you, the real takeaway from the BMT plan is how it fundamentally challenges those old trade-offs in city planning. It demonstrates that urban development isn't a zero-sum game. It's a strategic weaving together of economic growth, environmental health, social equity, and community well-being, all within one integrated, forward-looking vision. The BMT plan paints a fascinating picture of what a redeveloped city looks like. But how do we actually bring such visions to life, especially when it means fundamentally reshaping our interaction with the natural world? That's where this blue and green infrastructure revolution comes in. Our sources, particularly Works with Nature and Rainproofing NYC, reveal a global movement embracing what they call nature-based solutions.
Yeah, and a striking aspect here is the profound shift in perspective. For decades, we relied almost exclusively on gray infrastructure. Concrete pipes, walls, hard surfaces to manage water and protect our cities. Now we're seeing a powerful embrace of blue-green infrastructure that actively mimics natural processes. The Works with Nature source showcases 100 techniques for climate adaptation, mitigation, and restoration, highlighting a truly compelling point. These nature-based solutions often cost over 50% less than traditional engineered solutions.
50% less.
Often, yes. It's not just better for the environment, it's often better for the budget too.
So, what do these nature-based solutions actually look like on the ground? Can you give us some examples of how they're changing the game?
Sure. Looking at the broader implications, many of these focus on water management and urban resilience. Consider the sponge park concept for the Gowanus Canal in Brooklyn. This isn't just a pretty park. It uses wetlands and green spaces to actively filter stormwater runoff and, crucially, raw sewage.
Dealing with that combined sewer overflow issue.
Exactly. It addresses toxic stormwater inundation in combined sewer systems. Those pipes designed to carry both stormwater runoff and household sewage, which often overflow during heavy rainfall, polluting waterways. Similarly, Copenhagen's cloudburst plan isn't just building bigger drains, it's designed to capture and manage heavy rainfall across over 21,000 acres, preventing catastrophic urban flooding by integrating green spaces that absorb and redirect water.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? After decades of trying to engineer nature out of our cities, we're realizing the most effective solutions often involve letting nature do what it does best. And it's not just about managing water, is it? It's also about creating more living, breathing spaces.
Precisely. Other examples from Works with Nature include things like living breakwaters that protect coastlines while simultaneously enhancing marine ecosystems. Floodable parks or floodable plazas that are intentionally designed to absorb excess water during storms, and riparian restoration that brings natural flow patterns and ecological health back to waterways. These solutions aren't singular in their benefits. They provide powerful co-benefits, things like improved air quality, enhanced recreational value for residents, and crucial boosts to urban biodiversity.
That brings to mind the Governor's Island redevelopment, which we looked at in the Sam Scazzari paper. They implemented some genuinely interesting nature-based approaches there, didn't they?
They certainly did. The design and construction of the hills on Governor's Island involved a fascinating hybrid of technical concepts. For instance, they innovatively reused post-abatement building demolition debris as structural fill.
Reusing demo debris, that's smart.
Very. And over 75,000 new plantings, including thousands of new trees, were part of a detailed plan for organic succession, fostering a self-sustaining ecosystem. Even the seawall rehabilitation, which actually returned about 1.2 acres of landfill to the ocean, involved reusing the removed stones to create a scramble on Outlook Hill, a brilliantly creative and sustainable reuse that also provides a unique public amenity and incredible views of the harbor.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, and the island's storm runoff management with permeable fill and on-island retention is another powerful example of working with nature to increase sustainability and withstand storm surges, showing real foresight and resilience.
And Rainproofing NYC really drives home this nature-forward approach, emphasizing it as a core city strategy.
That's a prime example of embedding these principles citywide. Rainproofing NYC explicitly recommends prioritizing nature-forward strategies that mimic natural processes, promoting green infrastructure innovation, and expanding natural systems like bluebelts and restored wetlands. What's particularly noteworthy, I think, is their suggestion to integrate green infrastructure alongside affordable housing developments.
Connecting the green with the social equity piece again.
Exactly. This proactive approach mitigates environmental impacts in areas often disproportionately affected, ensuring that these essential urban improvements also contribute to social equity.
So for you, these examples clearly illustrate that when we fundamentally rethink our relationship with our environment, we don't just solve problems like flooding. We actively create richer, more resilient, and more vibrant places to live, work, and play. It's the city learning to breathe with nature.
Well put.
So we've explored grand designs like BMT and the essential role of nature-based solutions. But none of these ambitious projects happen in a vacuum, right? Ultimately, their success hinges on the people who call these places home. This brings us to the crucial human element, co-designing our shared spaces.
Yeah, and the idea of community co-creation is captured really beautifully in the Playful Placemaking document. It highlights a critical transformative shift in philosophy, moving away from the 19th century architect as expert model, where designers basically dictated the vision, to one that actively encourages designers to become communicators. They engage with the users of the landscapes, owners, and stakeholders to collaboratively determine a project's programmatic direction. It's a fundamental redistribution of authority, really, and fosters a collective ownership over urban development.
This sounds very much like the bottom-up approach championed by urban revolutionaries like Jane Jacobs and the sociologist William White, whose work so profoundly influenced how we think about cities.
Absolutely. What's truly fascinating about their insights is the core understanding that the city is earned by the residents who co-create it, and how people actually lived in cities was more important than how visionaries thought they should live. This wasn't just an observation, it reshaped the entire profession, introducing essential conversations on genuine community engagement. They recognized that truly successful placemaking doesn't emerge from a drafting table alone, but from a deep, empathetic understanding of human behavior and how people actually use and inhabit a space.
But engaging diverse communities can be incredibly challenging. People often come to public meetings with established viewpoints or even, a sense of defensiveness. Playful placemaking offers a unique, maybe somewhat counterintuitive solution, leveraging social science and, surprisingly, play.
Indeed. Joy Kubler's place methodology invites designers to become facilitators, co-discoverers, empowering communities through the universal language of play. Play allows for safe exploration of physical indoor social interactions and is known to strengthen the mind and body. The brilliance here is moving beyond traditional public meetings, design workshops, or charrettes, which can often become adversarial.
Right, those can get heated.
They can. Instead, play creates an environment where participants can shift from coming ready for a fight to being willing to explore considerations, or even better, to become advocates for the project. It's a powerful psychological tool to unlock creativity and collaboration.
We also see this collaborative, inclusive spirit beautifully in action in the Rainproofing NYC working groups.
Yeah, that's a prime example of putting these principles into practice. The Rainproof NYC working groups were meticulously designed with an equal mix of 15 to 20 community members and city agency staff. .co facilitated by both city and nonprofit leaders. This multidisciplinary process ensured that diverse perspectives combining lived and professional expertise were not just heard, but deeply integrated.
So real collaboration, not just consultation.
Exactly. They held regular meetings, conducted site tours, and ran public input sessions, gathering insights from over 1,000 participants. This fostered remarkable trust and cross-group collaboration, with the explicit aim to build lasting relationships and serve as a precedent for future collaborations on policy design. It's about building capacity for the long haul.
This all ties into the concept of affordances we encounter in the child, youth, and environment source, doesn't it? Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. Zooming out to the broader implications, affordances are basically the functional properties of the environment that inherently provide opportunities for action. They are ideally universally accessible, transcending age, abilities, and cultural or physical differences. When we apply this to community engagement, it means designing processes and spaces that naturally invite participation and creativity.
Like making participation easy and intuitive.
Precisely. Think about outdoor learning environments for children, which can promote STEAM learning far more effectively than traditional playgrounds because they afford different kinds of interaction, manipulating materials, exploring, problem solving. These affordance-rich environments foster problem solving, design thinking, and social interaction in a truly organic way, extending beyond just children to how we design all public spaces to encourage active use and interaction.
So for you, this means that the most truly successful and resilient urban projects are those where communities aren't just consulted as an afterthought, but are genuinely active co-creators, shaping their own environments in ways that authentically reflect their deepest needs and aspirations, fostering a true sense of belonging and ownership.
Exactly. That co-creation is key.
We've talked about transforming our urban spaces and the critical importance of engaging people in that process. Now, let's elevate our gaze a bit to consider the ultimate goal. Moving beyond merely sustaining our environments to actively regenerating them. This powerful, proactive concept is nowhere better articulated than in the Rodale Institute's Soil Carbon White Paper.
Yeah, this white paper makes a truly audacious and frankly inspiring declaration that global adoption of regenerative practices across both grasslands and arable acreage could sequester more than 100% of current anthropogenic emissions of CO2 and rapidly draw down atmospheric carbon dioxide. It's not just about slowing climate change. It's a call to action to move beyond the failed era of sustainability to a golden age of regeneration, suggesting we can actually reverse some of the damage.
That's a profound statement. Okay, so regenerative means more than just sustainable. What's the core difference? And how can we apply this mindset beyond agriculture? Because that's where Rodale comes from, right? Farming.
Right, its roots are in agriculture. And that brings us to a key challenge. How do we apply this to urban environments? Regenerative agriculture, as defined by Robert Rodale, takes advantage of the natural tendencies of ecosystems to regenerate when disturbed. End quote. It's a holistic systems approach where farmers work with nature, focusing on practices like cover cropping, diverse rotations, reducing tillage, adding compost, integrating livestock. The outcome isn't just carbon sequestration, it's a cascade of benefits. Healthier, more living soil, increased biodiversity, enhanced water retention, greater food security. The Rodale Farming Systems trial has proven for over 40 years that these practices lead to increased soil health and carbon storage, competitive yields, less energy use, and higher profitability for farmers. It's about leaving the land better than you found it.
Okay, leaving it better. Can this incredibly powerful regenerative mindset be directly applied to urban planning and design beyond just farms? It feels like it should translate somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it can. Looking at the broader implications, it means designing for systems that actively improve and give back, rather than just maintaining the status quo or merely slowing degradation. For example, the BMT Vision Plan incorporates that comprehensive coastal protection strategy that will protect the site against sea level rise and threats from climate change. This isn't just about building a wall, it's about building in the capacity for land to adapt and thrive for the long term, integrating natural systems that contribute to ecological health.
So resilience plus improvement.
Exactly. We can also think about circularity in cities, designing buildings that harvest and treat rainwater on site, incorporating green roofs that purify air and support local biodiversity, or establishing urban composting systems that return nutrients to city parks and gardens. It's about seeing cities not as consumers of resources, but as living systems that generate their own inputs and cycle them sustainably, much like a healthy forest does.
And connecting back, the economic impacts we discussed earlier, the jobs, the industrial development fund, the workforce training, those two are regenerative for the community, aren't they? They're rebuilding social fabric, not just infrastructure.
Yes, definitely. Fostering local economic mobility and ensuring access to stable, meaningful jobs, like in the BMT plan, builds stronger, more self-sufficient communities. It's a regenerative approach to human capital, actively transforming areas maybe with chronic underinvestment into hubs of opportunity. Rainproofing NYC also emphasizes building sustainable stewardship by creating avenues for active participation and fostering a culture of environmental care within communities. This includes prioritizing transparency, accountability, and adaptive planning frameworks, ensuring that actions taken today continue to provide cascading benefits for future generations, creating a truly virtuous cycle.
So, for you, the message is crystal clear. Whether it's through the revolutionary ideas of regenerative agriculture, the ingenuity of nature-based urban design, or truly inclusive community engagement, the goal is not just to maintain what we have, but to actively heal, improve, and elevate our environments and societies, moving towards a flourishing future.
That sums it up nicely.
What a deep dive, seriously. We've journeyed through ambitious urban plans like the Brooklyn Marine Terminal, witnessed the power of nature-based solutions from Works with Nature and Rainproofing NYC, and discovered the transformative potential of community co-creation through playful placemaking and the concept of environmental affordances. We even explored how the bold mindset of regeneration from the Rodale Institute applies far beyond farming, extending to how we design our cities and empower their people.
What really stands out to me here is the recurring idea that our environments are not static backdrops or mere resources to be managed. They are dynamic, living systems that profoundly respond to our intentional design and collective participation. From Governor's Island reusing demolition debris to create the hills, to Red Hook's innovative blue highways drastically reducing truck traffic, every decision, large or small, weaves into the fabric of a more resilient, thriving future. These initiatives embody a vital shift towards seeing our cities as living ecosystems, constantly evolving and capable of self-renewal.
That's right. These sources powerfully underscore that truly impactful change comes from blending innovative design with the profound wisdom of nature and the authentic voices of the people who call these places home. It's a powerful testament to what's possible when we choose to collaborate and create with purpose, moving from just managing decline to actively building abundance. So for you, here's a thought to mull over as you go about your week. If our cities are truly co-created and regeneration is the ultimate goal, what one small, perhaps even playful step could you take in your own community to contribute to this ongoing transformation?